Hello and thanks for joining us live from the Termas de Rio Hondo circuit here in Argentina. Unfortunately, after all the problems with some freight arriving from the last round in Indonesia, today's track action has unfortunately been cancelled. But I'd like to say I'm Matt Birt, joining you live from the circuit with our special guest, Repsol Honda's Pol Espargaro. I was hoping to be talking about this man doing amazing things out on circuit right now, but as I said, there has been some unfortunate delays. Pol, thanks very much for joining us. I'm sorry that we've disturbed your day relaxing by the swimming pool. But first of all, mate, we just want to start talking about the start of 2022. Obviously, big changes with the Honda motorcycle. I just wanted to sort of get your impressions when you first jumped on that new RC213V. Was it a case of, thank you, this is the bike that I was hoping for since I joined Honda?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I was super nervous during, this year is the contract year where everyone resigned the contracts and, I'm 30. I'm not the youngest guy on the grid. I'm not super old, but I'm in that line where, I need to perform to be on the place, and to make the other teams think that I'm still alive, and this preseason has been it's been tough because I knew that with the last year bike I would not make so much better. Even if I was improving in Valencia in the last races, I was better, but it was not enough to fight for top 3 in the championship. So I knew that that preseason was crucial, was important. We saw the new bike in preseason last year in Jerez that was performing well, and I had big hopes. But then when we arrived to Malaysia, I jumped on the bike and I started to ride. I said, okay, thanks God. That's what I was looking for, and the preseason was very good for racing Qatar. Then we had this parenthesis in Indonesia, which was a very tough and difficult weekend. But we come here back in Argentina and looking forward to jump again on the bike.
And what was that moment like when you were doing that riding in Malaysia, when you did understand that this is the bike that I need to fight for the win? I mean, was that a sense of relief? I mean, were you happy? I mean, who did you tell first, like, hey guys, I can win on this bike?
Yeah, first time I jumped on the bike, the first thing is a part of my ADN. It's like the rear brake, and the first time I went into the first corner, which is a very hard brake in Malaysia, and then you roll the throttle inside the corner with quite a lot of speed, then you need to stop the bike, and in that moment is where I normally hit the rear brake in the past, and I could stop the bike not by using the front. And the first time I did it, I just locked the rear, and yeah, I said, wow, it's not enough rear brake, so I can put it more. And the rear wheel is still there, it's not locking, and it's making the bike turn. This is my way, and then, we put aerodynamics that also helps even more on that way. We could put big disc on the rear, the normal pads, everything comes in my natural way of riding a style, which I'm super grateful.
You built up confidence, you built up momentum, as we saw throughout the winter testing, and then you came to Qatar. Super cool to see you back on the podium there. We saw how happy you were. Was that a big weight off your shoulders? Was that a big release of pressure to get that podium so quickly?
Yeah, definitely, because especially Qatar is not one of my best tracks. It's not one of the places where I enjoy riding, especially because day and night, so many changes, so many nerves going on this weekend. Many things can go wrong in the first race from the team and from the rider side. Everything is too new. But, before the race, everyone was saying, okay, the race is going to be very tough. Everyone is going to be very close. The rhythms are going to be very similar. And I said to myself, okay, let's check it, and I went into the first corner with a great start first, and I said, let's hammer it every lap.
Full send, here we go.
Full send it, and let's see who can follow me. And finally, we did a great race. Sure, it could be better if we were, I think we think in that race a little bit smaller. We need to be thinking a little bit bigger, thinking that we can win, and in that race, maybe we were a little bit in caution, like saying, okay, let's finish the race with the soft tire in the cool way. But I think with the medium tire, trying to think about winning the race, not trying to think to be a good result, maybe we could fight for it.
You're one of the most positive guys I think I've ever met. Even when things aren't going well, you're always kind of smiling, always trying to luck upbeat and keep that confidence. I mean, it was a difficult year last year. We can't hide from that. I mean, people forget, though, that you're a Moto2 world champion. You were you took KTM from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. I mean, how difficult was it for you at times last year? Because we know your potential, we know you're an amazing rider, but you just couldn't show it at times last year.
Yeah, it was tough, hard, as you said. It was more tough and more hard than what it was looking at the TV. You know, I had a very tough moment at home and with my people, because when I end up the year in KTM, 5th in the world, at same score points than Dovizioso, 4th, after being the last of the grid 3 years earlier. You know, it was amazing. And I said to myself, okay, I'm ready to jump on the next level. I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. You know, this is going to be winning the World Championship, and okay, I'm going to go to the team beside the best rider in the world, you know, and I know this guy. I know how this guy do, and I want to, you know, to beat him. I want to fight with him. I did in the past, and I feel ready to do it this year. But then I started to struggle so much, and also the team was suffering for me because they saw that I couldn't apply what I normally used to apply on my riding style, and I was like in a cage, you know, like so excited, but I couldn't show it. And finally, yeah, as we talked before, this pre-season is like the cage is open and I feel freedom.
I've still got a few more questions from myself, but thankfully there's a lot of fans all around the world that are currently tuning in to watch this interview, Pol. We've got a question from one of the fans. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Hugh J. Noose 24, who asks, can you explain what are the main differences between last year's Honda and the 2022 bike?
Well, mainly in an easy way of explaining, because there is so many technical details. The last year bike, especially in the entry of the corners, you could see, even if you check my pictures from last year and this year pictures, before Mandalika for sure, the last year bike, the rear of the bike, from the seat to the rear, it always felt a little bit high. Like always when I was entering into the corner, all the ass and all the body was a little bit up. And you know, the feeling that I was so much on the front, and then this was making the rear super slippery and not wide enough, and this create a lot of tension while riding, super on the bike, not out of the bike, not easy and smooth. So this year bike, if you see the pictures, or in Qatar, I'm much more on the back. When I'm entering into the corners, my body is out of the bike, and everything is much, let's say, easier. And till now, no one crashed. So last year I had 1,000 crashes, and this is also a big improvement.
Mark, I think, said in Qatar, there's only really Honda as a manufacturer is kind of capable of completely changing the project, the whole project. It's the biggest concept change I think HRC have made in the whole four-stroke era. Were you surprised at how huge the work was and how big the step was? I mean, OK, we are talking about HRC, but did it even surprise you that they're able to complete such a massive overhaul of the project?
Definitely, definitely. When I saw you know, I know the history of Honda. I've been following them since I'm a child, seeing Cribillet winning, Mike Duhan, you know, and I saw all the bikes, and I saw museums where there are all the bikes one beside the other one, and you can see the difference in between them, and they are very small, you know, small changes on aerodynamics, small changes on the chassis that maybe you can see if you are, you know, used to see MotoGP bikes. But yeah, definitely, when they send the bike into the pit box and I saw for the first time, it was like, what's that? You know, this is in between many bikes. It's like a mix of everything, you know. It's crazy if this would work, you know. And this is something that it generates to you a lot of not confident. You know, you don't feel confident when you see something so new. It's like, how this bike coming from nothing, so different that no aerodynamics is same, no engine, the swing arm, the chassis, nothing is the same, and it's so fast the first time you try. It's something outstanding. I think just a factory like Honda with this big muscle are able to do these kind of things. For me, technically it's so complicated. There is so many parts on one bike that small of them can go wrong, that it's amazing.
So when you walked in the garage and saw that new bike for the first time, I guess it was like a kid on Christmas morning, yeah? It was like the nice new big present.
Definitely. I think it was one of the first time, well, it was a little bit more further. It was a Misano test. when we tried the new bike. And I remember it was all the panels covering the bike while the bike was warming, in front of the pit box, and all the teams were there, like checking what this guy had bring, and you could see the back of the bike, which is so different, and everyone were shocked, like, wow, what this come from? I mean, there is nothing same in the off bike, but I think Honda recognized that we had a problem last year. Everyone were complaining about this, a part of the crashes that you all could see. And the change was big as we needed.
We've got a couple more fan questions coming in. Pol, are you missing Mark in terms of sharing data, sharing impressions and feedback? And she says also good luck this weekend, by the way, so when you do finally get out on track. But yeah, I mean, how important is it to have Mark obviously here fit for you to bounce ideas off each other and compare data and things like that? Super important.
If you are not smart enough, maybe you can say, okay, it's better, it's good, Mark is not here, I have no rival, there is one less on the grid, which you have a big chance that he can beat you, he's going to beat you.
But he's the reference, huh?
But at the end of the day, you need a guy like this in the pit box. You need a guy like this, it generates like a winning atmosphere inside the pit box. When Mark is there, Mark is not going to be 10th, it's going to be 5 to the top. So that this guy is going to be there, so what he's doing, sure, is going to help you in one way or the other, even if he's riding different. And apart from that, when Mark is not here, as I love so much my sport, people that is at home wants to see show. Mark at the moment is the guy is giving more show to the people. So it's important to have Mark here for me, for Honda, but also for MotoGP. As Mark is not here, for sure, it's painful for everyone.
Another fan question from Hacky789. It looks like you are, but do you feel like a true title contender this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's so early to talk about, but I'm 6 at 10 points with one disaster weekend. So it means we are good. Even doing a bad races, we are still there. I mean, after the pre-season, after Qatar, I feel ready to fight for it. The bike is there. I feel in the best moment of my career. I think I have the people around me that I need to be, consistent, cool, and performing well on the bike, and I feel ready.
I guess it's true what they say. It's a bit of an old cliche, but a happy rider is a fast rider, and clearly the new bike has helped in that respect. You just look more, I don't know, like you've got more confidence, more belief, more trust in yourself, more trust in the motorcycle now, and when all that package comes together, we can see the results.
Definitely. This MotoGP world is in a level where the level is so high that you cannot just be fast.
I remember it wasn't that long ago when people would say, oh, we're missing 1 second, you'd be in the top 10, but now if you're missing a thousandth of a second, you can be top 3 or outside the top 15.
2/10 is definitely important to be in the third row and the fourth row. 2/10 is 2/10 of a second in circuits of 2 minutes. It's unbelievable. So it's not enough to be fast. You need a lot of things. One is people surrounding you that take care of you, and you are just thinking about to be fast on the bike. Mechanics that give you that feeling of confidence. The bike for sure. The speed, the fitness, the hydration, the food. Good manners on sleeping, and these kind of things that at the end of the day they are not so important. One of them, but if you put them together, for sure it's important, yeah.
I mean, you've been a MotoGP rider since 2014. I mean, in that short or relatively short space of time, how much has the sport even evolved in that period? I mean, because you guys now have to be Olympic kind of standard athletes, the level is so super high, both from a technical perspective and a human perspective. I mean, the game does not get any easier, does it?
I mean, when I started in MotoGP, I saw some riders that they were on the category that, you could see they were not training so much. I mean, they were in MotoGP trying to win, but they knew they didn't have the bikes, because in the past, satellite bikes, they were really satellite. And I remember in MotoGP, when I grew in MotoGP, my first year of a satellite bike in Yamaha, I had less engines than the factory bikes. They had 5 engines, I had 3. They had seamless, I didn't have seamless. Less RPM at the end of every gear. My top speed was slower. It was a big difference in between the factories. The suspensions were different. you know, it was a big difference. So I needed to fight against Lorenzo in his best time or Valentino Rossi with less tools, less bike than them. It was impossible with less experience, less good than them, and then a worse bike. How you manage to do that? But now all the satellites are in the same level of the factories. Even sometimes we face that satellite bikes are better than the new bikes, you know, and the riders have a lot of experience. They are young, they are fast, they train hard, they are in shape. I mean, there is no one rider that I think it's over 70 kilos. You know, everyone is under that 70 kilos in between 65 and 70. So the level is really high, and the guys are young, and they are hungry, and it's difficult to make results.
And important now, of course, we talk about the physical preparation for MotoGP. I mean, racing these bikes for 40, 45 minutes on a Sunday, it's so demanding, but the mental prep as well. It seems like that's an area of the sport that really has developed over the last few years as well. I mean, how do you prepare yourself from a mental side of it as well?
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, about physical side, it's clear that people think maybe, okay, this motorbike, you just turn it and the bike is moving forward, you know, but we are training twice per day. And when I jump on the bike in the pre-season, I put like a wrist to check my heart rate. And one day I was talking to my trainer and saying, you know, I do normally mountain ski. I'm doing mountain ski at 170 heart rate. I feel very tired. So I'm on the limit. And then my trainer said to me, you know more or less how many heart rate you are on the bike? I said, I must be in 140. I don't feel as tired as here. Then I put it in my wrist, and I discovered I was over 180, you know, during most of part of the race, you know, and that's crazy. So physical conditions is important, and mentally as well. That's why being surrounded of the proper people that help you every day when you are good, but especially when you are deep.
There's a message here from Imagine 8 ORI. Just as Pol, you look so much happier these days. I mean, obviously I get to work close with you. I mean, you look happy all the time, to be honest, even when things aren't going so well. But
it seems.
But you look really happy with your professional life and with your private life, of course, your family that's so important to you. So, I mean, you said that you feel like you're in the best moment of your career. I mean, that from the body language, that certainly looks like the case.
Yeah, I mean, even when the things are going wrong here inside MotoGP, you need to see the big pictures of the situation, you know. Nowadays, we have war in part of this world. People is dying of not having enough food. You know, there is a lot of disasters in these worlds, and for sure we must be disappointed when we are not performing on the motorbike. But, man, it's not...
You have to have some perspective.
Yeah, it's not everything about this. I'm a happy boy. I have healthy. I do what I like to do. I'm known around the world of what I'm doing, which it means that I'm not doing it wrong. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful daughters. I cannot deserve anything more. So for sure, there is moments where I'm angry and I'm not happy. I'm sad, but at the end of the day, I need to show to the world that I'm happy, because if I'm not happy, who can be happy in this world, you know? I'm a very lucky guy.
And MotoGP this year, we keep saying, oh, it's the most competitive it's ever been from both the rider and the bike perspective. I think it's only the second time in like almost 50 years that 6 different riders have been on the podium in the first 2 Grand Prix. Do you think this is the pattern for the whole season, or do you think we will see a more stable level of performance when we get back into Europe? Or what's your view about how the season started?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's going to be a year where many guys are going to be on the podium. There is, as I said, many bikes ready to make it. And sure, many guys are going to be competitive during different, you know, parts of the world, as different nationalities. Guys are going to try to be faster in their countries. But it's true that those first races of the year, they are kind of weird, strange about tires, track temperatures. The tracks are very dirty because there is not a lot of activity, so the grip is lower. So when the grip is lower, you cannot take the full performance of your bike. Because the bike is, you know, is moving, is slippery, then, you know, riding styles take a big part of this. But when I think we're going to be in Europe, the top guys more or less are going to be more consistent. Maybe it's not going to change so much about who's going to be in the podium, but a bad race is going to be 5th. No, it's not going to be 10th, and a good race is going to be 1st, 2nd. So it's going to be more stable than in the first races out of Europe.
Another fan question. I think I already know the answer to this one, to be honest, but it's from Laus Jord. Who will win the title this season?
Yeah, guys, I'm here. I'm going to try, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2022 MotoGP World Champion.
Hey, I mean, I need to think about it. I need to think that I can before the start of the year or just at these first races. I think we have chance, and we need to try it for sure.
You said moving into Repsol Honda was like the dream come true. There's so many famous names have ridden for this team. They've enjoyed so much success over the years. Looking ahead, obviously you want to stay with this team for 2023 and beyond. I mean, have you already started that process of discussing the future with Honda, or is it still a little bit too early this year?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early. For sure, it's my first priority. You know, I don't come here in Repsol Honda to be 2 years and then escape when everything is wrong. I'm a guy that even if the things are not going well, I try and I try and I try till I get it. And this year it's a proof of that. After a hard year last year, I think we overcome with, with hard work, with some passion, which it costs so much. But I think Honda and myself, we are set to, I think to continue. But first of all, we need to match these 4 races as we did the pre-season, do a good results, and then arrange to one agreement which both parts are happy. I don't want that one part of this project is not happy enough. We must be, sure that this is what we want. Whatever is the situation with my teammate in satellite, in Honda, inside, I don't care. I want to be fast, and I want to see that they believe in me, but first of all, I need to show it. So part of it was in Qatar, in the pre-season, but I think the best is yet to come, so I think it's good to wait.
Do you feel like that first win is coming close? We saw you lead for so long in Qatar. You were close before, of course, with KTM on more than one occasion, but do you feel as well that if you do just get that first win, it kind of like the monkey off your back, and then more will follow, the kind of floodgates will open a little bit?
Yeah, it's part of the game. If you want to win a world title, sure, a win must come. I mean, there is an exception, like Emilio Zamora winning a world title without winning any race, but this is not normal. Normally world champions win races. And it's something that for sure we need on the list. Sure, what I want is not to win races. I want to win the world title, and I don't care if I don't win any race and I'm world champion. This would be good enough. But for sure, I think this year I feel on my moment. I feel everything is ready to set a victory, and the team knows it. We have done quite a lot of meetings. We have a project together with Takeo. We just joke about this, but yeah, I think the opportunity is very close, and we need to keep hammering till it comes. But it's not an obsession. I would say it's something that we need to do, but I would not turn in an obsession.
One more question from the fans. This is from Gustav, who asks, what's the best advice that Alberto Puig has given you?
Alberto is one of the best guys I ever met here in MotoGP. He give. You see him, and it's difficult to by outside know how he is. He's much different than what you can see from outside. Much different, and he's a guy that support you till the end, until the limit. But you cannot imagine how much he's pushing with you. It's difficult that he stay in your side, but as soon he stay in your side and he's in your side, he's going to defend you at the maximum level. It's good to have a guy like this in the pit box. We had problems in the past. For example, in Mandalika, and the guy who was pushing so much, it was Alberto. And this shows you that you are protected. This gives you confidence to go beyond the limit, because if you fail, you have this guy that is holding you. And this guy is going to pick you up and say, okay, let's go again, and again, and again. It's not the guy that is going to put the blame on you because you crashed. He's going to, if he needs to tell you the things, he's going to tell you the things. in the more strong and directly way, which I'm grateful with that. But after that, he's going to take you and you know, put it again on the line. So it's very nice to have a guy like that in the pit box, especially also he's Spanish, so we understand each other very good. And yeah, it's good for everyone to have Alberto on the team.
But somebody you can relate to and trust, because of course he's been there. Alberto's an ex-rider, so you know that he understands exactly what you guys are going through, whether the times are good or the times are bad.
Yeah, it's so different when you have a boss, because he's my boss, that has been riding. The way he's talking to you, it's different. I mean, he respects us so much. I think he's defending us so much because he knows how hard this is wall. You know, it's okay. It's like people saying from the sofa, why this guy is not faster, you know? Why this guy is giving so much excuses every time and he's not performing well? Okay, these excuses are not excuses. These are facts. You know, we are not fast, not because this excuse or this. No, it's because this and this and this. So he understands every point of our problems and he tried to solve them without asking if this is true or not. He trusts us because he has been in our situation and he wants the best for us. And yeah, this is a good, you know, I've seen many battles in between him and the technicians that they see numbers and lines and they say, but that's impossible. And he say, the rider is saying that, so this is true. Yeah. You know, and it's very good to have Alberto on the team, definitely. Just
one final question before I let you go. When you win a MotoGP race, not if, but when, because it will happen, I reckon there's going to be the craziest party in MotoGP history, so I just want to make sure that I get an invitation to that party.
Okay. I promise you it's going to be crazy.
Pol, it's always a pleasure to spend some time with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks to Repsol Honda rider Pol Espargaro, and thanks for joining us here live from the Termatrio Honda circuit here in Argentina. Fingers crossed that we get round 3 underway tomorrow morning here. We'll see you over the weekend. Thank you for joining us.